I'm so overly caffeinated. Shout out to my patrons. I love this story. This is going to give us something to talk about for sure. A bakery has been criticized for selling genderless gingerbread, quote, persons, even though the cookies can't have sex. What does that mean? What a strange title. So they're selling gingerbread persons. I actually prefer entities over persons. Thomas the Baker is a small family-run bakery that has more than 30 locations throughout England. It sells a standard range of breads and rolls and sweets, cakes, etc. But Thomas the Baker is being dragged through the mud on social media, not because of the stale croissants or tarts that aren't tart enough, but because its gingerbread cookies are gender neutral. Because it's 2018 and people love to get angry about things that don't personally affect them in any way. The fact that Thomas sells ginger persons in its shops has caused conservative Twitter people and social media people to shake their heads and tweet terrible things about the bakery. One resident shared a photo of those deeply offensive ginger cookies on Facebook, writing, "It's happening! It's actually happening! It's 2018! Stop the earth! I want to get off!" Unbelievable. Although many of the responses are negative, and they've accused Thomas the Baker of being way too politically correct. Hold on. What are we looking at here? I should have read this article before I got into it because it's a complicated article. There was one parody account that was opened and praised the company's decision. "Thanks to Thomas the Baker for doing the right thing by changing the name of gingerbread men to gingerbread people. This is what we need." Is this what we need? Okay. But in response to that tweet, Thomas the Bakery basically said that it's neither an easily offended snowflake or North Yorkshire's wokest bakery. They wrote, "Sorry to disappoint you all. We've actually been calling them ginger persons since 1983. It was chosen by one of our managers in York, and the name has stuck since then. We did get a complaint from Trading Standards in the 80s that we were discriminating against ginger-haired people. Seriously. Unsurprisingly, this is not England's first gender-related gingerbread controversy this year. In May, a shopper in Clevellies made an angry Facebook post after realizing that the J.L. Beans Bakery served gingerbread persons as well. Wow. Seemingly, they said, seemingly now you have to call gingerbread men gingerbread persons when ordering. As far as I can see, there is no law in place for this type of PC nonsense. But again, the bakery insisted that this wasn't new. They've been doing this since the 80s. Oh, man. They give an example of another company that got in trouble. But we need to talk about this. Obviously, this is something that's been controversial. Now, this company is, they didn't change the name because of social backlash. I mean, this is something that's been going on since the 80s, but I'm sure these other companies that they're giving examples of were pressured to change the name. Just like the animal crackers through social pressures to be more politically, quote, politically correct, whatever the hell, whatever level of that we're dealing with. This is a little crazy. They were pressured into taking the animals out of the cage. So it's like, it seems like there's a lot of pressure to influence the cookies these days for some reason. Meanwhile, real animals are endangered. And real people are endangered in the world. Real people on the streets of Los Angeles can't even, they could use some cookies in their life. They're starving to death, but for some reason the citizens feel like they need to put their energy towards this kind of useless social progress. Is this progress to me? It seems like a waste of energy to me to attack companies for such small little what I see as politically correct transgressions. And you know, when you actually look at the, you know, I like to say actions speak louder than words, right? I mean, isn't that that's a cliche, but doesn't that hold any weight anymore? Because when you look at this phenomenon, what's happening is people seem to be more concerned with the words than the actions. You know, like we're very quick to take down a celebrity for saying something whacked, but then if we had a video of them, let's say, not recycling, we would never. It would hardly get the backlash that their words would get. And in my opinion, it's like I think actions are much more important, and we should be striving to change people's actions rather than their words. And I think there's a big concentration on words over actions lately, and I think we need to address that for some reason. You know, it's like our energy could be put to better use. You know, are we all going to sit around and throw stones at each other for the words that we're using, when you know there's a lot of people with terrible actions out there that we need to put all of our energy to stopping? That's just my opinion. I'm going a little deep here, as I sometimes do. But then again, maybe I shouldn't go so deep, because you know, who am I? I'm just some comedian in Los Angeles who does a weird podcast. You know, I'm really a nobody, and I'm probably not smarter than the average bear, as they say. But that's just how I feel about it. That's just how I feel. And there's a lot of energy. I think what I feel is a lot of energy being wasted on the concentration of language. We're just arguing about language all the time. It's like, but hey, how about the emotion and intention behind the language? Don't we pay attention to that as well? And maybe forgive some people who made a mistake with their language. You know, I made a mistake the other day when I used the word retarded, which is not something I should be using. I'm trying my best to change it, but my emotion behind it wasn't, and my intention behind it wasn't to attack that group of people who have a mental disability. No, I came from a place where I'm from, that's an adjective that we use to call our idiot friends. So some people don't pay attention to the emotion and intentionality behind the words. They just focus on the words. And so they're not forgiving for that, you know. And in that case, I was just giving you an example how my intentionality behind that word wasn't meant to be offensive to a particular group of people who have a condition. And so, but we don't, you know, a lot of times we don't focus on that. This is a crazy rant that probably makes no sense whatsoever, so I'm going to stop. Please call into Weird AF News, though, and give me your take on this whole gingerbread persons. And I think we should call them gingerbread entities, personally. I never agreed with calling them gingerbread men from the get-go, because they don't have a penis, these gingerbread men. There's no penis. I'm not calling that a man. That's not a man. I don't know what that is. That's an entity. That's a genderless, delicious entity. By the way, love gingerbread men. Love gingerbread. That's one of my favorite treats. If you guys want to send me some gingerbread men, oh man, I'd be aroused. Email me. I'll give you my address. Here's my number, 646-450-2012. Email me, funnyjones@gmail.com.